All right, so let me just ask this. Was from the very beginning, Jay, is this the guy they targeted, a week or two ago?
Yeah, they wanted NFL head coaching experience. And I know a lot of people out there, they thought they'd go after like a Lincoln Riley, and that wasn't the case. They didn't want somebody with college experience. They wanted somebody who was an NFL head coach. And at first they wanted defense, but the more they did research on Mike McCarthy, the more they really started to fall in love with the grunt that is Mike McCarthy. He is a football guy. And when they met with him and interviewed him, I think they looked at it and said there's such a difference between him and Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, obviously Princeton kind of guy, and Mike McCarthy is just a Pittsburgh guy, worked at the toll booth. He's a grunt, and the way he went in there and explained how he would run their offense, run their team, and the team needs a lot of discipline also. They just fell in love with him throughout the night. And again, I reported yesterday on our Fox NFL Sunday Playoff show that he was still in Dallas. The interview was only supposed to last the first day, but it went so well, they ended up keeping him overnight.
Jay, are there any concessions he had to make with the current staff? Does he have to? None. So he didn't have.
Zero.
Okay.
Zero. And at first, the Cowboys, I think, were looking at it like we love our offensive coaches. We'd love to do that. But at the end there, when they talked to Mike and they all talked through it, I think they realized, you know what, we've done this in the past. We've tried to push certain coaches on others. We can't do it this time, and they pulled up. I do think he likes Kellen Moore. I think Kellen Moore will be there. Mike Nolan, who's the linebacker coach for the Saints. Mike Nolan hired Mike McCarthy as his offensive coordinator, when Mike Nolan was the head coach of the 49ers. And I think you'll see Mike McCarthy here return the favor and bring Mike Nolan in to help run that defense. Look, all the pieces are in place. They just, they need some ball coaches who can kind of ratchet up the discipline there and use those pieces a little bit better.
Let me push back on this. He never in 13 years had a top 10 rushing attempts offense, and I do think Zeke is a wildly talented, important person. And I think, Jay, you and I have talked about this. Coaches have DNA. Pete Carroll's defense and pound the ball. The Shanahan family, zone read offense. Andy Reid loves developing quarterbacks and wide receivers. Mike doesn't. Even when Aaron was hurt, he's not been great at developing rushing games. He gets out of rushing very quickly. Is that a concern?
No. One of the things he walked in there, he's like, he hasn't really had a guy like Zeke Elliott before. So, Mike, look, when you have Brett Favre, we have Joe Montana, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers, your quarterbacks, you're going to kind of go past happy. But he's never really had a guy like Zeke. So that's one of the things that they discussed also. He loves Dak. He excited to work with Dak, but he hasn't had a Zeke Elliott type of guy. No, they're gonna feed him like crazy.
Okay, I don't mean to get greedy and you break all the stories, but since you broke this one, let me ask you about two other ones. McCarthy was obviously the apple of Cleveland's eye, and I think he would have been a perfect fit for Cleveland. Okay, so now Browns. Is there a leap?
I think the Giants were actually more. We're going to make a stronger push than Cleveland. I think Cleveland, and he went in there and they talked about head coaching candidates also, but the Giants even called back to get a second interview with Mike, and obviously he couldn't do that.
Okay, so do you have give me your gut feeling on the Giants, which I think, by the way, is an excellent job. I think Daniel Jones on a rookie quarterback deal for 3 years. I think they have some nice pieces. They have two great defensive linemen under 25, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams. Giants, where are they going?
So all along, I think they've wanted Matt Rule, and Matt Rule's kind of dreamed about going to the Giants, but Matt Rule already is making $80 million over 10 years or something, ridiculous like that. And good for him, by the way. So it's going to take an awful lot to get Matt Rule up there. Matt Rule was there for a year, and I think the Giants are usually comfortable with somebody who they've already known. But they're in a different situation also than the Browns. Browns, when you go in an interview, they have a list of about 10 general managers that they could hire with the head coach. With the Giants, that's not the case. It's Dave Gettleman. And Dave Gettleman's got to kind of come up with the times. So you got to have a head coach who's saying, okay, this guy needs to come up with the times with Dave Gettleman's a very old school guy that needs to kind of get a little bit more new school.
All right, Jay Glazer, great stuff. Broke the story on Mike McCarthy. He's the new coach of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get ready for that. Jay, thank you so much for stopping by.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.